shoulders. You got the shoulders.
We gonna roll over here. Now look. So first things first, this week has been nothing but drama on Instagram, and that is courtesy to T.I. and Tiny Harris. Now, what do you think about all these allegations that's been coming through?
I don't put anything past anyone. I think it's possible. I'm curious as to why these allegations are coming out now. Like, what happened? Because they were super close with this Sabrina girl.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe I missed it. Did I miss something where?
That's what I was trying to say. Like, where did this all come from with the lie detector test and the threesomes? Now, it ain't no secret that T.I. and Tiny has been doing threesomes. Now, if a female was getting paid or being forceful, we don't know.
Right.
Somebody.
Right.
Get down.
But I'm just very curious as to what happened to bring about the allegations. Now, I'm not saying that they are true or aren't. Mm-hmm. Again, like you said, there's no secrets. So it's no secret that they've been doing this for quite some time. And I'm very curious. Okay. I'm very curious.
And since all the allegations, you saw what was it, yesterday, that T.I. released his own video where he was trying to defend himself, but kind of going with the allegations, saying it was very consentful. So which one it was?
Well, you know what, though? Something came about today with Industry on Blast, where they were saying... where they were saying there was a girl who purposely sent Sabrina a fake story.
Okay.
And she posted it. And then Industry on Blast found out about it, and basically the girl was just like, I sent her something that I read before just to see if she would post it, and she's just randomly posting people's stories regardless of checking if it's true or not. So now that's another nail in her coffin. And I don't know if you're familiar with her, because you said you've been in Atlanta. So are you familiar with her?
I didn't even know what this glam university of who she was. Maybe I probably seen her Instagram and didn't know who she was or just scrolled past it. But I was still kind of shocked, because it was like, if that was your partner, it's a very thin line of some friendships. If y'all break out, y'all ain't supposed to cross certain paths if you know something in my personal life to let everybody go.
And she's got a very sketchy past as well. She was in prison for quite some time. I think she used to date Big Meech or somebody. She sliced somebody. She threatened somebody. They didn't bring her car back. She was in cahoots with K. Michelle at some point. Like, she's got a storied past. So I'm not saying that negates her story. All I'm saying is you are very, very close to T.I. and Tiny. And Tiny even came out and said, which is it? Like, you wanted my husband to train up your sons. 2 years ago, he was just Uncle Tip. Now, all of a sudden, he's the predator. I'm not saying that it's wrong. I'm just saying what happened between 2 years ago and now, where this is the point that you decided that you wanted to spill all of this.
Yeah. And it's so crazy, because a lot of rape victims and people that have stories, this situation kind of brings their situation like, oh, they may be lying. A lot of people be skeptical on Instagram, like, I don't know, like, I don't really believe y'all. Like, what's really? And it's like, it gives the real victims, they don't want to come out, because it's like, y'all gonna just think I'm over here lying because so-and-so did this before.
It's triggering to a lot of victims, and a lot of victims don't even come forward to begin with. So when people are purposely trying to make sure that they paint you in a light where you're lying, it deters them from doing it any further. So it's not like, you've got to be very careful the way that you come about these allegations, like the way that she did it on social media. It's just like,
she had a malice intent with it.
Right. And if it is true, and I'm not saying it isn't, if it is true, then you got to be very careful about how you present this, because they have the funds. She has the funds as well. So we don't know how this is going to play out in court. But it's going to get messy. It's
going to get real messy. And I'm going to be sitting here.
I don't know what her intent is.
Right. I'm going to be right here sipping my tea. Or I'm eliminating, because I'm going to be waiting for this to unfold. You feel me? So the next thing is Dream Doll. Is she really the queen of New York? That's your area. So how you feel about Dream Doll saying she the new queen of the New York?
Okay, so let's just be very clear. You and I had a conversation before. I'm an old head. I appreciate old school hip hop. I appreciate lyrics. I gave Dream Doll a chance when she first came out. She wasn't dope.
Was that talk to me nice? I'm like, what happened to that girl?
That's what I'm saying. Like, it was very gimmicky. I don't believe in a gimmick. Like, I appreciate good music, and she wasn't dope lyrically. Her voice was annoying. It was a gimmick. Like, she saw what was working for other people, and she decided that she wanted to try that as well.
It's like she's looking at a card, and it's like, which female rapper I want to sound like today? Oh my gosh, here go Kim. Oh, we're gonna mix her with Foxy today. I'm gonna little Foxy. That's what she gives me on everything, because you don't know. This is like, where is her identity to say she's the queen of New York? Now, she sounds dope. Like, whoever is writing for her, the whole re-image change is dope, but it's like, we could tell it's not authentic.
She's a gorgeous girl. I will give her that. When you said you wanted to talk about this, I was like, all right, well, let me go see if she's changed, because maybe I'm just, maybe I wrote her off a couple of years ago with the other crap, and I was just like, I don't know what she's doing right now. But she dropped a freestyle over 2 Chainz, I'm Different. Oh. And I mean, her flow is gritty. She got the deep voice. She's talking her shit. And I was like, oh, okay. So she's re-imaged herself, like you said. And she sounds like she may have gotten a great ghostwriter. And great for her. I wish her the best. But the Queen of New York, that's not an option. No, thank you. I can't co-sign that. And I don't know anybody that actually believes in hip hop that can. Now, she can continue improving. If most improved, yes.
Yes. She's definitely the most improved female rapper.
Most improved, I'll give her that. But you're not getting queen of anything, right? Like, ma'am, you just discovered it, who it is that you are, like you said today. Let's settle on that and continue to grow.
Because it's like, is you a rapper or are you an Instagram model? Because I don't know what she really is. Because it seems like she's more of a socialite, and she don't really take her music serious. Like, be real, Dream Doll been doing music for about 2016, since she's been on Love and Hip Hop. And it's like, you don't really have nothing shake. You release a single here and there. It's like your heart not really in it. Like, you're doing it for the gimmick.
I honestly believe that she saw Cardi come up and was like, yo, I'm cute. I can do that.
Right. And she had self helping her.
There's nothing wrong with that. Like, if that's what you want to, but again, she would be great with being a socialite or an Instagram model. I mean, she's 5 foot, so I don't think she'd be much of a model. She's tiny, but she's a cute girl, and you can get a lot of endorsements.
And it's so crazy. I catch myself saying that about a lot of girls. Like, she's a cute girl, but the music, I'm really here for it too much. Like, it's okay, I guess.
Yeah. But again, I'm a snob musically anyway, so it's just like I said, I gave her a chance. I was like, ooh, nah, I'm good. And then when you said you wanted to talk, I was like, well, let me listen. And her flow was crazy, and I was like, okay, I see you. We can still grow.
Yeah, just a little bit. I'm gonna be here to see what she's going to do. This I'm gonna give her to June. I'm gonna give her to June to see if she
let me know how that goes.
Her own identity.
Let me know how that goes. I'm checking for it.
I'm gonna let you know. I'm gonna be watching. I'm gonna be like, come on, Dream Doll, what you got?
Text me, girl, because I'm not following it.
And keeping it in New York, Casanova was denied bail of $2.5 million. Now, he bringing that in monthly on OnlyFans, and I'm wondering, does his case kind of ties in with 6 9?
So wait, his OnlyFans, he's doing really well there, because the last time I heard that they had put up houses and property to get the money for the bail. So I know that another question was, they were asking if they could count money that was going to be coming in on his music, things, because if it's played today, then he's going to get money on that residually later on. So they were trying to see if they could do that, but I didn't know that his OnlyFans was, what the hell is he doing on his OnlyFans?
I don't know. I ain't subscribed, but I did see the little list. He was in the top 10 celebrities. So obviously he was making $1 million a month. Now, I done saw some leaked OnlyFans situations, and I hope he ain't over there slanging his thing on the OnlyFans for a little chunk thing. Because it was a whole bunch of stuff. I was like, oh my God. Like Tigers? After I saw what was on Tigers OnlyFans, I don't know.
He's actually having sex on his OnlyFans. Is that true?
Yes, it is. I don't know what it's seen. Way too many leaked videos of Mr. Tiger. No. King Tiger, they call him.
Oh, okay. Well, no, I'm not aware of those allegations and names, but okay. So Casanova, I definitely believe, not necessarily that it's directly tied to the whole 6 9 thing. I do think that they're continuing to build on the making an example out of rappers thing. you had the hip hop police in the 90s in New York, and they have been on rappers from the very beginning. I think the reason why people automatically go to the whole 6ix9ine thing is because it's so fresh and it was so public. But I do believe that the whole goal here is to make an example of him. I do believe, like, what I'm not gonna do is cape for that. Can I say the N word?
Yeah, you can say.
Oh, okay, cool. I'm not gonna cape for that nigga because he's not, like, his hands are dirty. He allegedly assaulted a woman years ago, and I don't know what happened with that case. But the nigga was in prison, came out, tried to get himself together, and then got wrapped up all over again.
Right, all over again. You had so much stuff accessible to you, and then you go back to jail. You get into this shit again. Like you was talking on the radio, like you Malcolm X now, and you ain't got no problem. You just trying to do better than the indictments. But I do feel like FBI don't come for me. But I feel like there's no like mob families as big as it once was, and the FBI is kind of boring. You know, Instagram, you niggas on posting all your flashy money and all that stuff. Hell, let's look into what they're doing. And that's what's bringing more attention to y'all.
I agree. The mob families are kind of slow, but I feel like the gangs may have replaced them a little more widespread. But another thing about the feds is they don't come after you if they don't have a case. Like their prosecution rate is ridiculous.
Isn't it like 99% or something like that?
Right. Something crazy in the 90 percentile range. So it's like, I don't think that he's getting out of it. Especially they're talking about he wants bail, and then they were just like, nah, like he has the capability and the means to do certain things and to hurt people. I'm not caping for this nigga again. He knew what he was doing when he was doing it, but I do believe the goal is to make an example of him, like with other rappers. When they are able to get their hands on a golden goose like this, just to put it across every newspaper, I think that's the goal right now.
Okay, so we also have to send a congratulations out to Nick Cannon, because Nick Cannon finally getting his own talk show. You know, 2020, he did a whole little apology tour, and I'm actually happy for Nick Cannon to see his growth, like from all that to wilding out to make a staple for himself. Like, I feel like Nick Cannon reinvents himself every 10 years and to get into something else new. He's the Black Ryan Seacrest.
And I was going to say that he is a media darling. Like, the media loves him, be it him acting, be it him hosting. Nick Cannon, like, in our community, he's often viewed as the corny guy. But they know what his roster, quote unquote, was. He was with Mariah Carey. He was with Christina Milian. He was with, there was another supermodel. She was a Victoria's Secret supermodel. And he proposed to her. Ebanks. Salida Ebanks.
Okay. Okay. She got the baby, right?
No.
The one that got two?
Oh, you got a whole different girl. And then Jessica White. Jessica White was a supermodel as well.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say I knew a Jessica somewhere.
But Salida Ebanks was she was a Victoria's Secret supermodel. She used to walk in the show every year, and they were engaged and together for quite some time. But in our community, Nick is often viewed as the corny guy. But he's about his paper, he's about his business, and apparently he has some kind of swagger because these gorgeous women flock to him.
They see the money.
He fucked up. Like, it's not cool to be anti-Semitic. It's not cool to make uneducated statements because you're replicating something that you heard Minister Farrakhan or someone else say. That's not cool, because if it were our community, we would be calling for cancellation. We would be fighting with people. But the Jewish community, they're a lot more diligent in the way that people regard them. So when somebody does something stupid, they don't play games. They're going to make sure that you... Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, I was very ignorant to the fact of what he said with the Jewish community. Like, I was just like, oh, why they want to cancel him? Like, it wasn't really like a big deal. But then I had to realize, well, if somebody said that about the Black community, then we ready. Oh, fuck them, get their job cut off and all of that. So I understand that outrage, because it has to be equal opportunity.
And it was a widespread anti-Semitic statement. So it's like, you know, they checked him. What I respect him for, though, is sitting down with the rabbi, understanding what he did to offend their community, and apologizing. So I'm actually very surprised that he bounced back this quickly, because I didn't think it was going to be this quick. I thought it was going to take a little more time, but I felt like I knew that he would eventually come back. So I'm happy for him, and I want to see him do well, but I want him to make sure that he's grown as hell. So you can't be out here spewing thoughts that you heard from somebody else without doing your own research. That's not an option.
But you see, he's been very quiet though.
Because he's a media darling. He knows what the hell to do and how to do it.
Yeah, he had to get his affairs in order. And then I feel like Viacom, they saw the loss of how people really felt about Wildin' Out and was like, we can't lose that. Like, what is else on MTV right now? I can't even tell you anything that comes on MTV, to be honest.
I love the fact that, you know, his cast actually supported him in such a major way. For them to offer, or allegedly offer, DC Young Fly the option to host it, and he's like, nah. Like, that level of loyalty, that just means that Nick Cannon is a stand-up guy. He just said something stupid.
Right.
He just said something stupid, and I'm happy that he's learned from it. And, you know, it's very interesting for him to have to go through that when his kids are, what, a quarter white?
I didn't even know Mariah Carey was Black. So,
let's... Okay,
I didn't even know she was Black.
Oh no, we gotta talk after this.
Yes, I didn't know. Okay, don't kill me, y'all. Hey, when I found out, I was like, really? Like, I just thought it was the voice. I thought she was like JoJo, Tanisha Kelly, and, well, Ariana Grande. I just thought she was white. They had like blue eyes soul. But she had soul.
Yeah, I feel you. Have you met Tanisha Kelly on Clubhouse?
No, I have not, but
she's so cool.
I Wish You Loved Me was my song.
When I saw that she was on it, I was just like, wait, is this the same? And she sang that in the room the other day. She's so cool though, like super laid back, super cool. I love being able to interact with people in their natural state who are not assholes.
Right. Because Clubhouse is a whole different subject. If you notice, I don't even be on there that much. I literally pop in and pop out sometimes. Mm-hmm. Just let me hear the first 5 minutes. I can't do it. Let me pop out real quick.
I go into small rooms. I'm a part of a certain club. It's a networking club, and I love going in there to talk to people. But outside of that, I'm not on Clubhouse to necessarily converse. I'm trying to expand my network. I'm trying to work with people. I'm trying to get more writing opportunities. I'm trying to get more interview opportunities. So I feel you. I totally feel you.
Okay. So, girl, how did you feel well, let's start off with the movie. How did you feel like the movie was overall?
Okay. So here's the thing.
Okay.
Lifetime and their biopics are very disheartening sometimes. Mm-hmm. And when the person that the biopic is about is heavily involved, I always have high hopes. But Lifetime, one thing Lifetime is going to do is give you a cheesy ass scene,
a corny movie.
If you film well, if you cast well, they're going to give you something cheesy to just roll your eyes at. Mm-hmm. And I enjoyed it. I felt so bad for her in her journey with the babies and the miscarriages and the stillbirths. Like, I can't imagine.
It is just the whole strength of it was like a 1.5 year span of that. It was just like, damn, girl, like back to back. And you had the strength to be like, I'm going to keep trying. Like, I have never had any kids or anything like that, but just psychologically having kids, like she could have had 4 kids?
Yeah, 3, 4, yeah, something like that.
And they're gone. It's just like, how do you keep going? She never took a day off. Like, I'm Wendy.
That was what I was about to say. Like, going through that personally, I've been through some shit. Personally, I've put on a smiling face, or literally, like, when I go through something, I internalize. So I don't necessarily go to work and take it out on anybody, but you can tell something is wrong when I go to work and I'm super quiet. But for her to go on and be the personality and be that big voice that she is day to day, I'm just like, you knew what your destiny was and you weren't letting anything get in the way of that. And it was actually very inspirational because, like I said, I grew up on Wendy. I'm from New York. I remember her being on the radio Wildin' Out. I remember her being on WBLS. I remember her, people cursing her out. I remember all of that. So to know now what was going on behind the scenes and her still like fighting through it and presenting herself as she always has, it was just like, girl, I get it. And if you wanted to be a bitch during that time, I understand, because you were dealing with a lot. People didn't deserve it, but I get it.
And see, the crazy thing is, I'm from California. I didn't really know of a Wendy Williams, to be honest, until she got on TV. So I didn't really know about the crazy antic stuff besides for after a while, YouTube, what is that, Throwback Classic channel that has the interviews. And I was like, oh, goddamn, Wendy. And then I'm like, then it was Charlamagne, and I was like, oh, I like Charlamagne. And then I realized they was like, no, Charlamagne got that from Wendy. So how was it just growing up in New York, just hearing Wendy? Was her presence kind of felt like,
like even if you listen to like songs from back in the 90s, people are talking about, I don't want Wendy in my business. I don't want to be on the Wendy Williams show. It was crazy. And the thing about it is, the funny thing about it is, I also was in South Carolina. My mom's from South Carolina, and Charlamagne's from Charleston. So I don't remember him on the radio there. I think he was in New York at that point. But hearing him on the radio with her, like, I have a lot of friends. He's very polarizing. You like him or you don't. There's no in between. Like, oh, I like him a little bit. So I have a lot of friends. Like, I'll be like, oh, I'm reading Charlamagne's book, and they're like, oh, I can't stand him. But I remember hearing him on the radio and listen, I'm in the middle of Shook Ones right now. I have that one actually signed. I got that signed in Atlanta. I got that signed in Atlanta, so I'm on Shook Ones right now. But I have
call up to the station. I need a book.
Let him know. But I remember him just being, I remember her being just like, I don't want to call her an asshole, but she was like a pit bull. Because she was going to say what she wanted to say, when she wanted to say it, how she wanted to say it. Like that classic Whitney Houston interview.
I loved it.
Out of control. She's had so many people wanting to fight her. And it was just like, it's Wendy.
And was she only thing I could feel like in her shoes, she's like, this is ratings, honey. Give it to me. I don't care. I'm gonna sell the hell out of this.
You know what's funny? I love Angie Martinez. She and Angie Martinez physically fought each other when they were at Hot 97.
Really? Oh, no, spill some tea to me now.
So I don't know if that's who she was talking about in the movie in the documentary, where she was saying that there was a part-time jock who went around like being really nice to everybody because she got fired. No, she got fired from Hot 97, from what I understand, when she and Angie got into that fight. And so they both called it a scuffle. Like Angie and her both called it a scuffle. They really kind of glossed over it, but they had a physical altercation.
That's what she was talking about.
I think so. Allegedly. Let's put that out there.
Yeah, allegedly. But we gonna get some real tea on the Angie Martinez show tomorrow. Cause she gonna be talking.
I can't wait. I don't know. She might not say anything. I know Charlamagne's definitely going to say something because Angela and Envy have been messing with him all week about the movie.
Yes.
I know Angie might not even, because they've gotten over it and they've built their own empire. So Angie might not even say anything. We got to see.
Somebody gonna spill the tea. I might have to listen to Hot 97 too. Ebro might just be a little messy and be like, so this is what
I'm not gonna talk about Ebro. I don't do Ebro.
Either, but every once in a while, I ain't
mad at you though, because Ebro is from your neck of the woods.
And I just found that out on Club. Matter of fact, I found that out on Clubhouse. Okay.
No,
I don't know Sway. I didn't know Ebro was from out here.
I don't do Ebro. I think he's been in New York for a very long time though, but he's originally from Cali. And I don't like Ebro because I don't like the fact that he felt that he had to come from behind the scenes. Because he was the program director for a very long time, I want to say, at High 97. And at some point, he decided that he wanted to be the front man. And in my mind, I feel like that was like the beginning of the end. Like that was around the time where Angie was just like, I'm going to be out too. Because they were a dinosaur terrestrial radio.
Yeah, because I remember they had like a whole Hot 97 show on VH1 that lasted.
And that was grasping for straws. That's another thing Angie Martinez talked about. She was just like, when we finally did that was the end of it for me, because they were basically just trying to hold themselves above water because Power 105.1 had come in and taken over. So I don't do Ebro. And Rosenberg, I used to like him, but I think that he's got 1 foot in
and 1 foot out.
and 1 foot in WWE, because he realized, you know, he was a backpacker. He did appreciate hip hop. I'll give him that. But at this point, I feel like he's like, okay, I'm over this and I'm bigger than this. And so he's heavily affiliated with WWE. I'm not sure if he just has.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, so I don't know if he thinks that he's better than hip hop at this point, but
they always come back. They always come back. Well, one thing about in the documentary, in the movie, that was very alarming was when she said her mom and dad used to make her get on a scale every single day, and how she like, oh, you're too big, you need to lose weight. And that really bothered me, because it was like, I kind of went through the same thing of hearing it like, no, my granny never made me like get on a scale, but you heard the little jokes when you was kid, and it does stuff to internally to you. But as your parents, to tell you to get on the scale and you're too fat, you just need to lose a little weight. It's
much.
like, who do you think you are?
You talk too loud, you're too much of a personality. Like, everything was just wrong. I read a tweet of a woman that said she worked for Wendy. And when she did her surgery, apparently she kept an old photo of herself in her office. And she would look at the photo and be like, I don't understand why she did the surgery. And she's like, now the movie makes me understand why she went through that. That's internalized pain. I can't imagine, I can't imagine that. Like, you fuck somebody up for life, and you see where she's had the nip and tuck, she's had the plastic surgery, she's had the liposuction. And when her mom, unfortunately, she recently passed, but in the doc, she's like, you know, she struggled with her weight, and now she's got a beautiful figure. Is that what you think is beautiful?
Right. It's like,
it's unfair.
The fact that she picked up magazines to say that was the standard, like, as a little girl, that's how you found out about plastic surgery. You should have been taught like self-love. And that's a lot. Like, I'm looking at her parents like, how dare y'all? Your daughter gets it at school and she's getting it at home. So where is she being loved at? It's very hard to watch.
Her having to deal with bulimia at such a young age and only stopping because she didn't want her teeth to fall out. It's just like, but then again, you know, I don't know what, she did not grow up in, like, I want to say a rural area in Jersey. And so I also feel like maybe because they grew up in the burbs and they were always comparing her to like her white counterparts, that might be something else, because they didn't grow up in the hood in Jersey. And there's nothing wrong with that.
And you could tell from that birthday party scene and how she was taller. She was like a size 12 as a young girl. That's not even bad. That's a large.
She was a thick kid.
Yeah, you know, she was solid, but you don't make her feel less than, like,
if she wasn't short. She wasn't short. Like, she's always been tall. So it's like, yeah, she was solid. She was stocky, but she wasn't fat. Like, she wasn't spilling out. She was
solid. Like,
I don't know. I feel bad for her. I understand where it comes in, but yeah, it's sad. I did see in the doc, I was like, oh, she and her sister, their talking voices sound a lot alike. I don't know if you noticed that. And I was just like, oh, okay, well, maybe again.
I didn't even know she was a sibling. I thought she was an only child.
No, I knew about her brother. I didn't know she had a sister.
Yeah, I wasn't really into the family. I just was like, oh, mom, dad. Like, I just thought she was a single child, and I just kept it at that. And it was like going from that and then going into the next thing, you were date rape. And it was like, damn, like, it's only 15 minutes in, and you having like little trigger factors, because I feel like most women, or all women, we kind of go through that where some men try to take advantage of you, and it was being spoken out on TV. It was like, I get that, girl. Like, you ain't alone.
I mean, I think she's been very meticulous about guarding her story and the way that it comes out. But again, she's a storyteller, so it doesn't surprise me. But I think humanizing herself was the goal of the movie, and I definitely understand her a little more as a person, as a woman, than I did before, because it was just like, again, and even I had a conversation with someone recently where I was talking about her, and I was like, she's very tame on her television show. I don't watch her show, but she's extremely, compared to what I'm used to on the radio, she's very tame on this show. And that's not who I know her to be. And I'm not a stay-at-home mom who watches daytime television. So, it's not, I don't care for the hot topics. That shit is on my phone. So it's cool. But she's humanized herself. She definitely did humanize herself.
She definitely gave people like, oh, Wendy, like, let me just give you a hug. And now you kind of understand why she's so sucked into work. Like, she's a real workaholic, because I feel like she's been trying to depress her trauma and pain for a long time and don't know how.
I also think she's still in a lot of pain, because in the doc after the movie, her crying throughout, just, you can see the pain. So in her not using anymore, I do hope she's getting the help that she needs to process this, because she's internalized it long enough.
And speaking about the using, I didn't know she used that as a mechanism for her to lose weight. Like, that's sick to think about.
Did she use coke as a method to use weight? I thought she was using it just like party. Because again, it was never a question that Wendy was on drugs way back when.
Yeah, but I believe she said in the movie, that's how she had a new diet. That's what she called it.
Yes, she did say that. I forgot about
a new
that.
diet. And it's like, okay, like, it's the 80s. I guess that was the thing.
I was gonna say that.
The party drug. And it seemed like she was full of life all the time. Like, I'm hosting and I'm out. Like, she was the girl.
Big personality, didn't give a shit about what anyone said, told everyone's business with no remorse. Right. And like,
she was the original media takeout, okay?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Especially with the whole, allegedly.
Yes.
Allegedly, girl, when I tell you allegedly with the whole download rapper, is like, she was the original, and she was right. Like, at some point there was a Wendy Jr. on every show. There was a Hot Topic segment on every show. She's the originator. You have to pay homage.
And now I see that so much. Like, in every radio station, it's the one person on there that's giving you some hot topics or with some celebrity and all of that. And like, for both of us, let me go back into our show. For us interviewing artists, do you feel like when you're writing your questions down that you have to have a little Wendy-esque to it with your questions sometimes?
I don't. And you know why? Because a lot of the people that I interview are up and coming.
Mm-hmm.
So there's not a lot to their stories that's been publicized. They may have been through some shit. And unless that's written in their bio, or when I speak to them, it comes out and it's like, okay, well, I've been through this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about it. But my goal when I speak to these people is to learn about their journey within the industry. Now, when I have a larger artist, like I interviewed Sean Garrett in October, and that interview was just, I let him sway that, because it was just like, I don't know how I want to approach this. I did ask him about the verses and the backlash he received there, and he's like, oh, I didn't have any backlash. And I was like, you did, but okay. I'm not here for the salacious interviews. Now, I do definitely dig deep, but it's not for dirt. It's just like, okay, well, if you've been through this, let me know. People don't know your story. We are on this platform to talk about your story. So I don't, if I were to get on a larger platform, or if I were to, when we talk about our little thing, if I were to continue doing that with you, then that's a totally different story where we're going to explore that. But I think I can compartmentalize where I talk to the up and comers, and then, we talk about something totally different. What about you?
So for me, I have gotten to the point where people be like, oh, you need to be a little bit more controversial. You need more clickbait for your interviews. And I was battling that for a while. Like, I don't know if I should go that route. That's not really me. Like, I just want to be able to ask you strictly about your music, your videos, having fun. Like, how I try to put my virtual world is just like a fun atmosphere. And the person that gave me advice was, I was about to call her Sita, but Miss Kitty Kaboom. She told me, she said, be you. If that's not you, leave it at that. Like, people will still love you for who you are. You don't have to pretend to be nobody else. And I was like, whew, okay, good. Because the pressure that I get from other people is telling me, oh, you need to do this. I want you to have this interview so you can ask these type of questions, because they won't know. I'm gonna tell you a story. It was an artist that it was brought to my attention that somebody wanted me to interview him. I was like, okay, all right, I'll do the interview. And they was like, but you have to ask these certain questions because this is going on behind the scenes and this would be good for clickbait. And I was like, I'm not really feeling that. Like,
Right.
I don't know about that. That's not even me. And I was like, I don't want to incite any beef or anything by asking these questions. They was like, no, you're going to do it. Your show going to pop. And I literally stopped talking to that person because I was just like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to exploit somebody like that.
Listen, if at any
I don't want nobody blood on my hand. No.
If at any point though you feel like you need to make that pivot yourself, then you do that for you. But we both have our own platforms, and whomever is giving you advice on what you need to do, it's so easy to create your own platform. So if that's what you want to see or hear or speak of, create your own shit. But don't dictate. I take constructive criticism. I take input from people, but I'm not going to change who it is that I am. I'm not. And because it's not going to come across as genuine.
Yeah.
This is where we're on the phone and I'm talking to you. If I'm looking at you on camera, my face reads everything. So if I'm not into it, it's going to show.
Girl, mine too. Because if you notice, when I cut mine out, it's because my facial expressions is somewhere else.
So I cannot be genuine and be on anybody's camera if I'm over here trying to fulfill something else that someone else asked me to do. It's not going to come across as genuine. My face is going to be flat. I'm going to give you the...
Right.
And it's not going to work. So be genuine to who it is that you are. If at any point it feels right for you to transition into more of a salacious format, or, you know, where you're going to ask for clickbait, then that's on you. But you can't have these people telling you how. You see what your platform is doing. You see the people that you're bringing in. You see the capacity that you're impacting people. So don't let that, don't let that influence you on how you run your platform and do your business.
Yes, thank God I did not take that advice. And I was like, on to the next one. What's the next one? Won't be me. All right. So then what else happened we got to the date rape, and then she was tricking off of Eric B.
No, that was the very beginning.
Yes. Yeah. I was like, okay.
I clutched my pearls. I was like, not Eric B, of Eric B and Rakim. Like, they about to come get your car because your credit's fucked up because he threw the key at you? Like, Eric B, what is going on?
And you allowed him, and how you be talking? Ooh. I would have had a whole bottle up against his head when he came in that door, and he wouldn't have been able to open my door.
I mean, I just, you know, people tend to have their ass on their shoulders when they're held to the fire after you do something for them. So it's not surprising, but it's surprising because Eric B. And she's, okay, so have you been watching the interviews? I haven't watched it yet, but she said that she had a one-night stand with Method Man.
Yes, and right before we started recording, I was watching it.
I feel like a victim.
Why?
I am from Staten Island. I grew up loving Method Man. That Wu-Tang is the home team, and being a child, I was just like, oh no, he's cute. I love him. Ma'am, leave Method Man alone. Leave him alone.
Hey, she letting everybody know the same man y'all can get, she can get too. That's how she was letting y'all know. Like, I was hopping on it in my head when I heard it. I was like, go on, Wendy. You better let them know you have Mr. Method Man.
You know what's sad? Because I don't know her to be a liar. I'm upset because it's just like, why would she lie? Like, she could lie on anybody in the business. Why would she lie on that? So it's just like, oh no.
And he ain't came out and said nothing.
50 Cent has been saying shit about it. And
you know, this is promotion for him. He gonna make 1,000 memes. Because
he's a master marketer. I just don't like when he comes out and it's like, oh no, bitch. No, like, calm down. Like, don't call her a bitch. You can make fun, because again, Wendy has had words for everybody, but you don't have to be disrespectful about it. And that's my issue with 50. He's super disrespectful.
He is. He gonna be his match one day.
I feel like, honestly, and
what you gonna say?
I feel like his son is gonna fuck his world up.
He gonna Tyreek his ass.
I don't think he's gonna kill him, but I feel like Marquise is gonna fuck his world up somehow.
Yeah, he gonna be calculated how he
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah. Because 50 is mad at his mother, not him. And for him to treat that child the way he's treating him because of what his mother did or the relationship between the two of them, it's not cool. So I feel like Marquise is gonna fuck him up somehow, some way. I don't know how, but girl, mark my words, save this video.
Okay. We're gonna have to save this clip so we can post it like throwback clip. So I would say the actress that played Wendy Sierra Payton, she did an amazing job. Like she had her mannerisms down pat. Not so much of the accent, but the mannerisms.
Oh, girl, I love it. Because the moment I heard her talking, I was like, oh, she's forcing this accent. She's forcing it. But I can't, I mean, she's way too petite to be Wendy. Wendy has never been that skinny, and I'm not shaming her size. I'm just saying you have some people who have a touch of body dysmorphia. Like, you know, you had Lil' Kim wanting Halle Berry to play her in a movie or something stupid. Like, I'm just, you know, she did great, but I have a hard time suspending disbelief sometimes. I'm just like the accent for me, the moment I heard her voice, I was like, it's not real.
I wasn't feeling the accent. It was just like, it's good for what it is.
As it went on, I definitely do believe, I agree, she did a great job. Kevin Hunter, the guy, he did a good job. He's been in everything though.
Right, but he made me feel like Kevin was more like a Suge Knight. Like he really come through, knocking it down. And I was like,
did you listen to the Breakfast Club interview?
No, not the whole interview. Not the whole interview.
He dead ass said, I put Suge Knight and Dame Dash together because he didn't get a chance to talk to Kelvin. So he said that in order for him to create that character, he did a mashup of Suge Knight and Dame Dash.
Yeah, because that's what I definitely got.
So I guess he nailed it because he said that.
Because it to me, it was like, I understand why she loved Kevin or Kelvin, whatever his Mr. Hunter. I understand why she loved him because he was everything she always wanted.
Yeah.
Somebody to just love her for her. But at the same time, he was a very manipulated person.
Yeah.
And it was just like, how did you not see that? Like, he kept her. I feel like he is the reason why she's so closed in, and I feel like she's more hurt because you were the only person I had.
She's definitely super hurt because of him. I don't like, I can understand not seeing someone for who they truly are. One, when they send their representative, and two, when you are in love, you are willing to look past certain things. So I won't shade her there and ask that question. What I will do is, I think the movie humanized him
a lot
as well. But I still think he was a piece of shit person. And I can't question whether or not, you know, she saw that, because I feel like at some point, if you haven't already, you will experience that, where you're just super in love and you're willing to look past anything that's negative because you see the good in that person.
But for 22 years, like, you knew for 13 years that he was cheating. 13 years because of your son. You didn't want. 13 years.
That's a lot. That is a lot.
I don't know to that much trauma for 13 years to keep up.
I couldn't be woman enough to do that.
And you got a whole place too with this woman.
9
I'm taking care of this woman.
Yeah.
Whoever that Sharina Hudson, she is so. She found the right one, because I'm so surprised Wendy didn't beat her ass. But I knew Wendy was like, it might be a lawsuit, but I would have hired a little bitch to beat her up.
No, I don't believe it had anything to do with the lawsuit. She's big for nothing. Wendy don't got no hands.
She got a cousin or something. Ain't no way.
Wendy will talk her shit and get in her Benz and keep it moving, like Shorty said from Total. Wendy don't have hands. She grew up in, you know, the burbs in Jersey around the white kids.
So
her mother said that she never defended herself or told him to leave her alone. Wendy was just big for no, like she said, she's inside, she's soft and pink. Wendy don't got no hands. So no, she wasn't. The most she was gonna do was glue the mailbox shut and spray paint some shit.
Girl, at least have some heart. Have some, bust out all the windows.
You can't. You got so much mouth, but you got no hands. Like you said, you got a cousin somewhere. What I didn't like about the film though was that she definitely tried to pawn off the using on him. Now I will say that it would definitely okay. The stress, you relapsed, cool, but let's not get it twisted. You said you got high 5 times a week, and he's the one that basically told you to stop.
Yeah.
So that was another thing. I'm trying to figure out whether or not the Graves' disease, like when she passed out on Halloween, they didn't say anything about her being diagnosed with Graves' disease until then. In the movie, when she was trying to get pregnant with Kevin Jr. in the early 2000s or whatever, they threw that in there saying, okay, I diagnosed you with the weak uterus and Graves' disease. So I don't know if that was artistic freedom.
People know that she had it prior and it wasn't due to drugs. Now, one thing about the whole Halloween incident, she kind of alluded to it was the stress and I was drinking. I feel like she had a relapse then.
I agree. A lot of people said that she had a relapse and it wasn't just alcohol. So my thing is, again,
because why did he push for you to go to rehab?
Well, I just don't like I don't like putting all of that on him. Like, yes, stress is going to trigger you, but you had a habit years prior. I think she's being very, very liberal in the way that she's spanning this timeline. This is just my thought process. But I don't believe that he is solely to blame for her relapse. I don't know anything personally, but I do not believe that the reason why she completely relapsed was because of the stress. I do believe that she's had a habit for a very long time, and she may have slowed down, but she definitely had a habit.
Always still used.
I think from her past and from her history, I do believe that, you know, it was happening before that. And then it was like a culmination, like she said, of everything. And it was kind of a downfall.
Yeah. So for being from New York and growing up in that time, that whole situation, how was it like, what stories did you hear about Kelvin? Was he this bad person?
You know, I was young. So, you know, for me to have heard about Kelvin or Mr. Hunt, as you would say, I had to be a little older into like the club scene. I wasn't that old yet. I wasn't old enough to be out. Like, I would only hear Wendy on the radio. I would hear shit in the news. But for him to be the feared person that they said he was, I wouldn't have known. I wasn't on the scene back then.
Yeah, see. I kind of wonder a little bit more. Like, I want to kind of deep dive into his story, because how Charlamagne talks about him is how he's a horrible person.
Right.
Everybody like, he's horrible. He's scary. Nobody wants to be around him. It's just like, well, how did y'all do business with him?
You know, they probably tiptoed around him. But another thing is, he's from where my family is from in Brooklyn, which is Brownsville. And to see photos of him, I'm like, yeah, you must have been that corny nigga that had to move into the city, because you just look whack as hell. Like, I don't know nobody.
Hey,
I don't know nobody from Brownsville that dressed like you, that moved like you. So I'm just like, did you take that persona and rebuild yourself in Manhattan and be like, okay, well, this is the new person that I am? Because I have, like, my father's side of the family is from Brownsville, and everybody in that area, like, niggas is like, they're fly. I don't know what it, like, Charlamagne always talks about the nigga wearing, you know, big Fendi, and I mean, back in the 90s, but that nigga was still wearing that a couple of years ago. So it's just like, where have you been?
It's a new day.
Did you just get out? Like, I don't understand.
And another thing that was kind of shocking in the movie, the whole Ryan character of telling Wendy that he was cheating. I wonder, allegedly, if that was DJ Booth. because their breakup is weird, and how she's saying she's starting so fresh and new at the Wendy Williams show.
Mm.
I kind of wonder was Booth was the one that told her that he was cheating.
Now, I don't know her history with Booth other than being on the show.
They were very close.
No, I understand that, but I'm saying prior to the show, prior to the television show, I don't know what her history, because again, they're being very liberal in the timelines. So
right.
I don't
know. It went
so
fast.
She knew about, you're saying 13 years. From what I understand, she knew about the affair for 16 years.
Mm.
So, and that, you got to go listen to the Breakfast Club interview, girl, because Charlamagne basically spilled it and said the reason why she knew about it 16 years prior was because the girl left her driver's license in the car with Kelvin, and Wendy found it and said to him, do you know Sharina Hudson, address blah, 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 from North Carolina or the Carolinas? You got to know her because that's where you're from. So she had known about it, and I guess she didn't check it early on. So like I said, I don't know.
Yeah, I also, okay, he was saying that she was supposed to be some model for him. They had a modeling company, and she was just probably one of the ones that lingered on. And another thing, I don't like how they try to say Charlamagne is the reason why he started cheating, because he introduced them.
Well, Wendy cleared that up. She said it. She was like, Charlamagne didn't introduce her for the sake of cheating on him. Because do you listen to the Brilliant Idiots at all?
No, I love Charlamagne, but I don't care for Andrew like that. So
Andrew's an asshole, so I get you. I got you. No. So Sharina was originally around and attracted to Wax.
Okay.
But Kelvin was just like, yo, who is that? And they said it either on the documentary, I believe, where it was just like, Wendy said it. She was like, Charlamagne didn't introduce her to him for the sake of him cheating. He was just stupid.
Yes, okay, like, so I heard that part, but other people was just saying, oh, because of Charlamagne, it's just like,
no. They're going to blame him because it's easy to link the two, and he hasn't been quiet about saying, I introduced it to him now. But no, he, like you said, she was around because I think he brought her around for Wax. And she wanted to be a model. So he introduced them in that capacity. She was around for Wax. Kelvin was like, yo, who's that? And was very persistent in reference to that.
Snatched her up.
Pretty much. And, apparently they just moved to Florida and they opened up a business down there. So this man is in love and raising this child. Right. What do you think about the fact that, she's been making her rounds and they've been asking her about the baby, and she was like, I want to meet her. She's going to want to meet me.
Right, I was so here for it. I felt her. It's like, look, I want to meet the baby for. And Sharina, like, bye. But I love the little shade she showed every Monday. I'm waiting for the shade this Monday.
It's gonna be crazy. But you know what? I'm so curious about the fact that they actually use this woman's name in the movie.
Right.
Like, she's got to know that there's no lawsuit, and I think because she's not expected to have any kind of anonymity because it's already been outed in the news.
Maybe because it's like in public knowledge or whatever, and it's already like an open case. If you think about it, like, their divorce is a case, so it may be an open case, so that's why she's able to do it.
But she's been throwing that girl's name around all week.
Yeah, I wonder how she feels sometimes. Like, how do you feel you still laying next to this man, knowing all of this, and you're
should feel stupid because, girl, Wendy Williams
of a woman. If I did,
Wendy Williams, my God, like, do you not realize, my G, that you are going to become a hot topic? Is that what you really want to do? Like, you got rappers and celebrities who want to fight with her, and you're just a regular old massage therapist. Did you not think this was going to come back on you?
And Wendy came hard.
But she's Wendy, so it doesn't surprise me. It doesn't. It came hard, but this is hard in the sense of this television show, because if she was on radio, she would have said so much more quickly, and it would have been nasty. So
I am surprised Wendy does not have a podcast. I would think she would have a podcast.
She's probably working on it. She's not like, she's an empire.
Still, if she had a podcast,
She's an empire. I don't believe that if it's lucrative to her, the only reason why I think that she would never do it is if it's just not lucrative enough. But if it's lucrative, I feel like it might be in the works.
Yeah, like say, okay, knock on wood, they canceled the Wendy Williams show in like 5 years. She might take that and go straight to podcast, and I could see Apple giving her a deal, Spotify giving her a deal, and she will be bringing in big bucks.
I don't think exclusively, if you said 5 years, I don't see Spotify being around that much longer, because the people that they're bringing in reference to reference to podcast, excuse me, the people that they're bringing in, the contracts suck. Joe Rogan is going rogue, so I don't see her going there.
Well, maybe Apple.
Yeah, like you said, Apple first. I agree with that, but Spotify, I don't see her doing that, and that would definitely not be lucrative enough for her.
Yeah, if Apple gave it to her and she had her own, people will tune in.
Not even, with a podcast, like how Nicki Minaj has Queen Radio. Yeah, she can do a radio.
Mm-hmm. I can see her if she does it once a month, but I feel like the documentary in the movie is shaping up for something else. I felt like she wanted to reintroduce herself to people, like, hey, this was what I went through, but this is the new Wendy. Because she keeps
saying that. Wendy is the queen of media. So what it is her now, she's basically redirecting the story in the direction that she wants it to go in. She's smart. Mm-hmm. She let them run rampant. People were like, oh, why are you not, you talk about hot topics, you got all this shit going on, why would you not talk about it? She did it in her own time. And now she's redirecting the narrative in the direction that she would like it to go. So she's controlling it.
But I need to control my own narrative sometimes. She be getting ahead of the story like, all right, I know what I'm going to say. You see the ring this week. Not knowing, I knew the shit the whole time. Now with the whole Daily Mail situation, do you think she leaked the image?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now that she said the Daily Mail did a great job, I believe when she hired that PI, she was like, take this over to them. I don't think she's
break the story.
I don't think she's in the business like the Kardashians where she's planting stories. But I do believe that, again, to control the narrative, she was just like, okay, I've got the proof that I want. I'm going to start working on my divorce and getting my affairs in order over here. You go leak that to those people over there.
And what, she probably took that. I was like, no, Kevin, I believe you, baby. Well, it's nothing. But in the back of her head, she's making the plans, her exit strategy.
Yep.
She took those 2 years and I had an exit strategy. She probably had secret accounts and all of that. But I was just like, Wendy, she's a whole mogul. She has so many people that look up to her, even though she's crazy. They look up to her. And I have a new appreciation for Wendy.
I do too. You know what's funny? I've wanted to read her book for a while, but after the movie, especially, with us having our own platforms and doing this to an extent, I was just like, I gotta go read it now.
Right.
Yeah.
I definitely need to go get it. I wonder if it's on Amazon. So where do you think Wendy will go from here now? Like, what do you think is next for the show? Everything.
Well, I don't necessarily watch the show.
You gotta pop in just a little bit.
I'm telling you, when I tried, it was so damn tame. I'm used to her being an asshole on radio, so I was just like, this is for the moms. I'm not. I mean, I see Hot Topics every once in a while. So I don't know where the show is gonna go. I do think there will be a strict timeline on how she allows this story to remain live.
Mm-hmm.
I think at this point, it's 2021. I think she's going to give this story a good couple of months because I feel like everything's still going to start playing out.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like end of year, there's another book coming.
You think so? That'd be a good shape up. And I think her whole dating game show that she's doing and trying to get in dating life, I feel like she'll be in a relationship with somebody.
I don't think so.
Because how she talks about it on the show, like she went on a date like last week and she comes back and tell everybody how the date went and if she liked them or like people are interested in that. Like
I think that's ratings. I don't think Wendy is going to ever get into another relationship because
really?
I don't believe so. I think she may have boy toys. I think she may have fun, but I don't see Wendy getting into another relationship again because she's not looking to have any more kids. She's not going to trust anybody, you know. Even with, from what I've heard with the dating show, quote unquote, within the show, you know, they've got to have their own money. They
own house.
They got to be able to travel back and forth to see her. Like, she's setting the rules very clear, very early. I'm not mad at it. I just think, I don't want to say that she's jaded, but I think she is still hurt. I don't see her getting into a relationship anytime soon or ever again. But she's got to work through, like, this maybe she has, because I know the documentary had to be filmed at least over a year ago because her mother just passed away.
Right. And they didn't even mention that.
Right. So I'm thinking, you know, maybe she's had the help that she needs, because throughout the documentary, she was crying. You could visibly see her hurt, and I felt for her. So maybe she's processed all that, and maybe she's back to normal, or maybe she's the new Wendy that she's going to be. But I don't see her being in any relationship that she's not going to dictate, and I don't see it. What do you think? Do you think
see
a relationship?
I wouldn't want to be in a relationship. I just feel like she's just about to find this man that's probably a judge somewhere.
I can see her with a white man if she does.
Yeah, right. I definitely could see her with a white man, and she would be fine taking on days. She gonna have a different bounce to herself when she go on the show. Like, I watch the show every morning on YouTube, courtesy of some guy named Kobe. He uploads it, and I enjoy it. Like, she has a different energy. And I like that. I like seeing her like that. So I want to see her just have a relationship, being wined and dined. Somebody send her some flowers on the show, seeing her all girly. Because I feel like she deserves it.
I agree.
You okay, people say you be in love 3 times. Maybe she about to find her old man, that she gonna live forever.
You know what? I might have to change my mind. I feel like I see her with an older white guy who is going to wine and dine her and treat her like the queen that she is.
Or an Indian. I can see her with an Indian too. Why are an Indian man?
I see her more with a white guy with like a hedge fund manager that's just got all, you know, she don't need nothing from him, but he's gonna still do the extra shit for her because he can. And
speaking of that, how do you feel about her going to Miami? They might cast her for Real Housewives of Miami.
I think that's messy. And I think she's condescending, because you know the whole backstory of her talking about Nene being that girl over there, and I'm more than a housewife, or I'm more than a friend to the show, and now you have literally pitched yourself to the franchise. I mean, she and Andy are very close, but you've pitched yourself to the franchise. But you know, when it was with Nene, you were above that. You were.
It will make great content though, every Monday.
I think them little white, again, Wendy, she don't have no hands, but I think them little white ladies would be over there afraid of this tall, powerful, dominant woman with the boobs. Like, I just feel like they would lose their shit. You know what I'm actually looking forward to outside of, if she gets cast, I'll have to watch it, but I'm looking forward to New York. The Housewives, I haven't watched the Housewives of New York in years, because I used to like Jill and I used to like Bethany. But Ebony K. Williams is the first black addition to the cast, and she, like, it's going to be an issue to begin with because she has a job. She doesn't have a clothing line. She doesn't have something that she started as a boutique because she just had the money lying around and got bored. Like, she is an established woman. She is an attorney. She's an AKA. She has been through life. So she's going to be, initially, it's going to be, oh, she's aggressive. She's too much.
That's the first thing they're going to say is she's aggressive.
So
I guarantee by episode 2, after Watch What Happens Live, it's going to be a bunch of shit.
Absolutely. And Ebony doesn't raise her voice out of a certain octave. Like, so I just want to see how they're going to paint her as being the aggressive black girl on this show, because they're just so used to being so demure and taken aback. Like, I just want to see how they paint her.
I would definitely watch. I have never watched The Real Housewives of New York. I'm only a part-time Atlanta fan, and I used to be a full-time Potomac fan. Now it's whatever they show me on Instagram. That's how I watch it.
I watch both. I watch both religiously. I have not watched New York. Like I said, I liked Bethany and I liked Jill Zarin, but I stopped watching. I think there's like a Countess, and she was doing too much, and I was just like, "Nah, I'm good." So I don't do New York anymore.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that will conclude our review on this Wendy Williams biopic / documentary. You got anything else you want to say?
Girl, no. I'm having fun.
Right. Look, so we about to be doing this all the time, y'all. Watch. Y'all gonna be coming back.
Stay tuned.
Yes. So make sure you guys go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you follow both of us, okay?
Follow me. T Nicole Writes on Instagram. T Nicole Writes on Facebook. I interact with everybody, so if you hit me up and follow, I'll follow back, and I talk to you in the comments, all that good stuff, because I'm just regular old T Nicole.
Yay. So we want to thank you guys so much, and y'all have a good week.